Hi guys, it's Lisa. Welcome back. Today I got something so fun to share with you. About 2 years ago, I started making these videos for YouTube, and about a month or so in, I was scrolling through Instagram, which I hadn't even had an account until I had made my YouTube channel, and I was learning about how to share your mission, how to reach people. And so I opened this account on Instagram and I was learning Instagram, and I came across a really amazing find. It was a beautiful lady, and she was holding this book, and it had stickers in it. She was sharing her vision of increasing communication, especially in families. Well, I just had the opportunity to interview her. I also want to show you really quick her website. You just scroll through her website. She has all the different parts of their vision, their mission, and why they're even endeavoring such a big thing like starting a business as a stay-home mom, and what keeps her going. Her website's full of different products, of course, and things, but beautiful pictures and images, and she even shares a lot in her blog there. And most recently, she has a new project, and we're going to talk about that in our interview. Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for inviting me today.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad that you said yes to come and talk to us today, especially because you have something very special to share with, I think, the world. This beautiful book. This is your pride and, well, one of your pride and joy, I'm sure. Blessings that you are shared with the world. And this is the one that I have. Actually, I checked in this morning. I was like, my copyright on this is 2018. So I might have one of the earlier ones. I don't know.
Yes, you do.
So that's really fun. And this is a book, but it's also a game. I mean, it's big format and it's also a game. And this is something that Jennifer has brought to the world. So I wanted to see if you could just share. At this point, it started like this. And at this point, you have several editions, right? And if you could just tell us a little bit about what Togather is, and then tell me a little bit about the different editions, and then which one might be your favorite.
Okay, first, I want to tell everybody who is watching here that Lisa and I did not know before any of this. Lisa found me on Instagram. I don't even know how we connected. And you have been such an encouragement to me for the past 2 years of doing this. I basically had an idea of how to make face-to-face communication really strong in families that are busy, where there's lots of distractions, where we all feel the threat on a regular basis. And I knew there was a better way. So I thought, I'm going to try something. And I made this conversation starter game with stickers in the form of a book so that everything was right there and you could open it up. And that's the family dinner version. And I thought, okay, people can pass this around the dinner table and peel a sticker, and everyone's involved. And it's interactive. And all these questions are going to be written so that they dig deeper and they don't provide a one-word answer, and they really create a lot of meaning in small moments. So anyway, that is the thought there. And I was very scared. I was a stay-at-home mom. I just thought, I have a product that can help, but I don't know how to run a business. So I just launched it into the world with, definitely some people in my corner cheering me on. But you came out of the blue by God's grace for sure. And I think you found me the summer that I made it. So I had just put out in the world May 2018. And I received a message from you, and you had done an unboxing video, again, out of the blue. And I thought, oh my gosh, somebody actually likes this. Somebody is seeing so much value in here, and it's helping this family. And just the fact that I knew how much it helped you. And I'll never forget, you sent me a message that said you came home and one of your sons was sitting with his friend and his girlfriend. Is this the ones, are these the ones that are getting married?
Yep. And with
Okay.
that little group of friends, yeah.
Oh, well, I pull that message up every once in a while when I'm feeling like discouraged or something, and I read it because it's in my Instagram messages. And you told me how you came home and you heard them and you were wondering what they were doing, but they had grabbed the Together game, peeled stickers, were sitting on the couch, and it had brought up some question about your son and future daughter-in-law's relationship and how they had worked through some things, and you were sitting here being a witness to their conversation. And I just was so appreciative of that, because the reason that I created these was I knew words matter. Words matter so much, and all of us families want them to happen. But it's not always natural to bring up these conversations. But if a sticker asks you, then you do it because it's a non-threatening thing. So I just want to say thank you for being such a light to me. I really feel like God placed you on my path for a reason, Lisa. And actually, this is interesting because I ended up using one of your emails that you sent me. You said that that it created fall on the seat laughter, and because you don't have this version, I ended up putting your quote on the back of another version that I had printed later when I needed more copies.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. And I remember I remember that because I remember standing there before, like, your entryway, and then like you can hear this. And then I kind of looked around the corner and realized they had this in their hand. And they said, the other friends, they were like, is there a college one? Because like we don't talk about these things, and like this would be good. And but anyway, so not that you need any more work.
Well, you know what, I don't know that you ever told me, is there a college one, that they had asked you that, because actually I was at some entrepreneur fair at Miami University a while ago, and two separate students came up to the table and said to me, can you make something for college students? We have such a hard time getting past the where are you from, what's your major questions. And it's definitely been something that I would like to create. You asked me what versions I have. So I have Together for lunch, which is for your child's lunch bag, for conversations for them with their friends at the lunch table, and from you as a prompt, where they can come home from school and you can talk about what you sent them. And then Together for Advent, Together for Easter, which is for Lent, Together for date night. And I would love to do a college one, or like a young adult or teen or something. But everything takes time, all in good timing.
Yeah. I would say that the next one I'm really interested in is the date night one, because I think I'm noticing, I'm 50 now. My husband and I are 50 now, and we can tell that if we just work, and work, which is what I think most of us start to fall into, which is, I'm a stay-home mom. I don't work for income, but I just, work on the things there in the house, homeschool the kids, and he works, and it's his own business. And so that is all a lot, and it's wonderful. But we notice that if we just work and we're exhausted at the end of the day, we might have, civil conversation or talk about the pressing issues of, what's up with this kid or that kid or a family or things that we hope for, whatever. Actually, that part doesn't get talked about, I don't think. Like it's all the job part that we have to, and we just feel, you don't feel close. You don't feel this is the wrong word, but you just feel more like business. Like we have to, these are the things we need to, okay. And that especially with this time that we've been, like, you can't go and pick up this or go out to that restaurant or whatever, which sometimes can be an empty conversation as well, can't it? Like maybe you don't actually hit the stuff that's important. But we noticed that, like, driving to go pick up the mail at his office is like this date. Like I've been in the car and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at how green everything is. Oh my gosh, all the leaves came in.
oh my gosh, you know, I could see him kind of like grinning, like, wow.
Well, I saw your video for your date to Costco. I loved that.
Okay.
It was sweet though.
It was all real. Like I was really that weird. Like
Excited.
but yeah, but even the hopes and dreams part, I don't think we get to hit, because if you're working so hard and if financially it's tight, you think their hopes and dreams, what are we talking about? Like this stuff we can't do, because you if you don't have that space that's safe, and like it's a sticker asking the question, you know, not necessarily me or him. I know that I get defensive really fast. Like no flies out of my mouth way faster than, yeah, let's try that. And so I think the date night one would be that's on my list. I'm saving up.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up, Lisa, because I just pulled this out. It's the Together for date night. I had it in this drawer. I was trying to pull it up.
Yeah.
And I made it for couples dating and want to get closer to married for many decades.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. The reason I created the family dinner one, and as people are watching, I'm sure you're going to say, yes, yes, yes. I was sitting at a restaurant after Mass one day. We had lunch. It was a beautiful day. And I was looking around that restaurant and I thought, nobody even pays attention. They're all in their own little worlds, whether it was a virtual world because they were on screens, or because they were having conversations here with their family, conversation here. The table was split. They weren't, bringing everyone together. And that was the day I got back in the car and I said to Matt, there's got to be a better way. This is not how I want to raise my kids. I don't want to be in a world where we're constantly battling for that face-to-face time and connection ultimately. And I want to go to bed at night and know that I did well and we still know each other, because when communication breaks down in a family, the family itself is going to face the threat of breaking down. I mean, we all know that's the foundation, besides faith, of course, but that all goes hand in hand, because actually if your communication's breaking down, your faith may be too, because you're not talking about it, but that's conversation for another day. So everything is 105 stickers, all these bound books. So you choose a category and you just peel a sticker. So I'm thinking about what you just said, Lisa, and this is my one and only category. So it is true. I think in our marriage relationships or our dating relationship, marriage especially, because you've been together longer. Matt and I are about to celebrate our 16th anniversary next week. We have 4 children, ages 4 to 12, and it is a lot. Sometimes you feel like you're just coworkers trying to get everything done together. And if I sat down and I said, Matt, I'd love to know the one person who's been a huge influence on you, he'd be like, what? I don't know. What are you talking about? But if we're sitting on the front porch and I grab this sticker game and I peel it and I say, answer this one, Matt, he's going to answer it because it's not weird and awkward. And it brings you to those points of, okay, let's dig deeper and get back to what really matters, because we all know it is easy for the days and the weeks and the longer periods of time to just go by and lose that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly true. Exactly true. Thank you so much for saying that.
And I just think, none of us try to do that. None of us. We set out to have the strongest marriage that God wants us to have for ourselves and our family. And I think everything is such a slow fade, unless you're being completely selfish with it, right? But it is a slow fade into that, and you don't even know when it happened.
Right. It's true. It's very true. And so we have to circumvent that and put these little practices into play, Okay. So
a wedding gift too, Lisa.
Oh, There you go. There you go. Yeah, I mean, in my mind, I always thought like dating is before marriage, and then after you're married, everything's just great. We get to go on a date. So I even remember,
Ever after.
right? So I remember, like, well, maybe we can go out to eat, but we don't go on a date. And my husband would always talk about a date. You know, I mean, date. And I'm like, I don't know, like what? And actually, date is just it's like I think that word is just like exciting, and it's like, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna go? You know. Anyway.
Now, have you guys ever hit a point in your marriage, or do you now, where you have a weekly date night?
No, no. I think I think yeah, that's a really good question. But no, there's lots of different reasons, but reasons that probably shouldn't have been there. But yeah, we're pretty good at dating when our kids were littler, which sounds weird because that would almost be harder. But you know, we were surrounded with babysitters and things like that. And then as the kids have gotten older, we have the opportunity now whenever we want to go out, we could, and we don't as much. So that's interesting. But what's cool has been is being with, well, like with your kids, so lots of times we like to be with them out, you know, like but we moved here to Ohio 8 years ago, and in many ways it feels like home now, but sometimes it kind of still feels like we're touristing around and finding a new park or whatever. So that we kind of did all as a family. But I would say definitely over the last year or two, through different things, my heart has really changed to that idea that my husband is my, you know, he's my date, and that I'd want to go out on a date with him. And I think that's really helped him too, because I don't ever want him to feel like he's second best to the children, which a lot of people that we all know kind of without realizing it, I think they kind of live that way. And I think I might have been falling into that, where, you know, their needs, their all of that it's very important. But I think as they get older, you start realizing more and more, oh yeah, he can make breakfast for himself. Oh yeah, they can actually make dinner for themselves. They can wash their own clothes. There's all these things. And I don't ever want, like, when they all move away, to be like, well, who are you? You know, to my husband, like, I just cherish him so much, you know. And I, you know, he is the love of my life. Um and yeah, I think calling it a date and calling it just that increases that excitement for that time out together and things like that. On our 25th
Mm-hmm.
anniversary, we went away. We went to Niagara Falls. I'd never been there, and we were just there like, I don't know, maybe 24 hours. We drove home, but it was really great. And the reason why, and it makes me think of Together, and you know, your idea of the questions, is we didn't bring the game, but we were eating dinner, and he started asking me these questions, like, um, if we went out to dinner, would you have, you know, Italian or Chinese? And I was just sitting there eating my dinner. It was very nice. I wasn't grumpy or anything, but I was eating it, and I'm like, what, you know? And he went through this, and he just kept asking these questions. It was so much fun, and I learned things about him, and he learned things about me. Like, after 25 years of marriage, like 28 years together, and 25 years, like he didn't know that, like, this particular color that I really liked, or that, but not in a bad way, but just kind of like, but he was interested. He was asking me. I was just over the moon. It was the coolest thing. Like, I mean, it was like the coolest gift to just have that kind of a conversation. I don't know.
Oh,
Rather, you know.
isn't that so fun? I agree, is that you think you get to a point where you know everything about someone, and you don't. There is always something to discover, and I think we don't give ourselves enough opportunities to really do that. And yeah.
Okay, so then I have another question, because I mean, this was before. I think moms have always been trying to do more and more and more. If you're a stay-at-home mom, you kind of see this 2-hour window in the afternoon as, ooh, I could be doing such and such, and then I could save up and we could all go to Disney, or I could do that. I think as a whole, stay-at-home moms. I mean, women in general are super. I mean, of course, but I think stay-at-home moms. A lot of the ones that I know are looking for some way to start a business, or they work with these different things like the fun nails or the makeup or the bags, right? Everybody, a lot of people jump into all these different kinds of businesses. Um, but like, especially now with this pandemic, like people are home and they're noticing like, whoa, this is a lot. All of you people who need to do school, and then I got to work and all of this. But even once the kids are back at school, what is something work life balance time wise that you've found is something that works? Like, I know that almost every time, like even now when I sat down, I've got myself all set up, books are underneath the computer, to talk with you. The kids are like super loud downstairs and I'm thumping on the floor, shush, or just the little things like that. Or I'm all ready to do whatever project, and it's actually lunchtime. Like it's 1 and no one's eaten. Like okay, let me pause. My first vocation is there, what, to love God, and now I'm married, so I have these children and them, feed them, Anyway, so how do you manage all of that? Or I'm not saying you're perfect and you've got it all figured out, but like, what's a tip that you could share?
Okay. So just for anybody working at home or trying to start a business at home, just
Whatever.
in general. Okay.
Please.
So, I've been doing this for 2-ish years. I launched 2 years ago, but I was creating for the whole year before. So about 3 years. And I love that you mentioned what is my first vocation. So this is interesting. I don't have it right here, but the other morning I opened my Bible in the way of, Lord, what are you going to show me? Give me the secret right now. You just randomly open. And I don't even know what it was. It was maybe Mark. I don't even know what chapter. I couldn't tell you. But at the top, in my own handwriting from whenever, I have written about take care of your first mission first, which is my family. And it was a morning where it was just this week where I had been thinking of all the things I had to do. And I thought, okay, Lord, you were speaking loud and clear here, because I need to slow down and make sure I don't give up this time with my family to work on my own dream. And sorry about that. And I do think there is obviously a balance here. And here's the thing is, I happen to be running a business where I'm creating products to help other families get closer. I have always said I am not going to do this at the expense of my own family. So what do I do to do that? Well, I still make sure I call myself a stay-at-home mom first, and then I'm a work-from-home mom. And what that allows me to do is then arrange my work schedule around what I want to do with my children instead of my children around a work schedule. So typically what I do is I try to set the right expectations for my kids. In an ideal world, I would have office hours where my kids know what time I'm in here. And we've actually talked about this for the summer, and we just have to nail down that schedule. They just finished school last week. And I let them know, even the night before, I will say, girls, and Nathan, who's 4, I have to get XYZ done, and you will see me sitting at my computer for 2 hours or whatever. I cannot be interrupted. I have to get this done. And then you can have my time. Now, I knew this morning that I would be doing a lot of stuff. I did a Together for our teachers contest, which is beautiful. I know I have to finish all that today. And my daughter last night said, will you please take me on? Can we go for a walk tomorrow? So this morning we took an hour-long walk, just me and her. And I knew she needed that time. I needed that time. So I pushed off what I was doing because I knew I had this with you. And here's my best advice is just be flexible enough where when your kids need you or your spouse or whatever, you can give them your time and it doesn't ruin your day for work. So work ahead when you can, do those things. Also, set those expectations with your children, especially so that they know what you need. And don't set your expectations where you're going to have, I think, 2 hours of uninterrupted time is doable. And I think much past there, you have to give yourself the grace to know that, and your children, that that's a lot for you to be uninterrupted in your own home.
Sure.
So to give yourself those scheduled out breaks. I mean, I could give all kinds of other tips. Be organized. Have a system. If you know that laundry in your house is the one thing that drives everybody crazy, puts you in a bad mood, and keeps you from doing your thing, then organize it so that you can alleviate that or handle that objection from your kids or whatever before it interferes with everything else. I think be a couple steps ahead of what you know is going to cause the problems.
Very, very wise. You have another project, even besides that one for teachers, that you are doing, and that's a podcast. Can you tell us what's going on with that?
So, yes, I am launching a podcast. It's called Families That Stick Together. And there's a lot of symbolism in there. So that's our logo behind me. It's the E for the E in the word together. And it's a heart and an ampersand. You can see all of that. And it's always green. And I'll tell you what all of that means because it really opens up to what our brand mission is. So everything is about letting people have those meaningful words spoken in the small moments because we don't think the busy is going away. So if it's not, we better use the small moments and make them big. And I think for any relationship to thrive, you have to have love, which would be the heart, which would be mutual respect for one another. And the and part is the unity. You have to be, balanced and unified in what you stand for and what you desire in your relationship for the long run. I think we always have to be forward thinking and when it's over, what do we want to look back and think, yay, I did well with that relationship. So you have to have both of those pieces, the love and the unity. And it's always green because when you ever see a branch outside, a twig, a bush, a tree, whatever, and you think, I wonder if that's still living. If you crack a branch that looks dead and there's a green heart in the middle, you know it'll survive. It's going to come back and thrive. And I think it's the same with our relationships. If we ever feel like they are strained or difficult, if we just bring back the meaningful communication, they're going to thrive on their own. They're just going to be there. And I think that's the green heart of any relationship is the communication. So Families That Stick Together is my way of bringing people a place where they can feel like they're hopping on the couch with somebody who is going to have a good conversation with them, fill them up, bring in other people, friends and stuff who are going to have conversations as well, where they walk away. There's when you walk away from a girlfriend's house or a run-in with someone at the grocery store or something who you haven't seen in a while, and you feel normal because I think that's such an empowering feeling that seems silly, but I think when we're on this journey of motherhood, especially, we have to feel normal, like, oh, yay, you're my people, you get this. And so I want people to walk away feeling normal, and I want them to feel like there is a better way. I don't have to get sucked into what the world tells me my family should be doing, or how busy I'm supposed to be, or what success looks like, or what, a strong family is. I want them to walk away feeling empowered with tips that they're doing it well already, and they're confident that they can keep trucking along, and they have some good tips, and they also just feel like there's a lot of families who are going the same direction as them. Because I think a lot of times when we're trying to live our lives for Christ and live our lives for the mission of our family, we feel like we're swimming upstream against the world. And the truth is, we are a lot of times, most of the time. And it's so good to know other people are with you. So that's my goal for families that stick together. And it is launching in June.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm really excited about it. And it's been something I've wanted to do for a while. So that's hence the official pop filter that filters out all my P's and S's.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it looks cool, very official. Yeah, I really.
Thank you.
Well, yeah,
Amazon.
I'm really looking forward to that, because I think you are 100% right. I think we do feel a little alone, and you can even be within your you can have this awesome group of families, maybe, that you're all together, walking this life with, people from church, or people like, that group, right? Like church family or whatever, community in your community. And even within there, you can feel like the one swimming upstream, like, oh, well, you guys don't do da da da, right? Because, we all do this. And that can feel weird too. And I think that's going to be really cool to have you to listen to and encourage us on that. I don't know who said it or where we found it, but we found this really cool piece of art, my kids and I, once, and it was maybe it's a video we watched. I can't remember. Oh, maybe it was something like Word on Fire did or something. But it was like a young man, and he was standing, like where like a river will be coming down, and then there's like this waterfall. And he's like up here on this flat part when the water's kind of rough and turbulent, but he's walking up through that, he's walking up. He's not going downstream. So he's walking up towards the rapids kind of thing. And it said something like, you're walking up, it's really hard life, following God, following what he asks for us to do in this world and for others, and loving him. And that you're walking upstream. Gosh, that's hard. But only the dead fish go downstream. Only once they die do they flow downstream. And we were all like, whoa. They give up or die. So I thought that was pretty powerful.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
I don't know if little kids would appreciate that, but I don't think that was my grandson. But
yeah, right. Keep swimming upstream.
Keep swimming upstream, really, because you're alive.
I know.
Well, thank you so much for joining me and chatting. And I know that the people who come and over here to Catholic Marathon Mom really appreciate that you're doing this for all of us families. And I appreciate just hearing your story and how it kind of grew into this cool mission, and now a podcast. And this is going to be great. So Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Lisa. I meant every piece of what I said in the beginning here. You have been, when I think of the top 5 people who I didn't know before this who have encouraged me, you are definitely at the top, because it's a hard thing to keep going and to have a business that's actually kind of upstream. Not everybody, they care about family values, but it doesn't always, they don't always take the action step to, keep going. So this is for the family who, once it already has it, wants to keep going. And I know that you are already that strong family who cares deeply. And it just has meant so much to me that to know that God used me to make something to help your family. So thanks for inviting us in.
Okay, well, thank you, Jennifer. I'm going to let you go. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. It was wonderful. I
Okay,
appreciate
can't wait to see more of what comes out of the whole Togather business, but also mission and the podcast. So, all right, take care. Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
So, guys, how cool was that getting to talk to Jennifer? I'm so glad you guys were here today. If you found encouragement, click over here. There's going to be some videos that are going to be just right for you, and I'll get to see you over there. And write me in the comments, what are some things you guys do as families to increase your communication so that you can grow closer and be a stronger family? I hope you're well. Stay safe. God bless you.